is Nate still technically signed to the UFC?
He's not with the UFC, so he can fight wherever. So I think he should go fight Conor again, but
Hell yeah.
that's the fight the fans want to see because Conor's probably not going to fight like Chandler. I knew that fight wasn't going to happen. He doesn't want to fight Chandler, but Diaz, Conor 3, that's a super fight, and they both just want to get paid. Is the problem?
Yeah.
And the UFC is kind of like, we don't want to pay you both.
God, I want to see Conor come back and win. I want to see him come back and just fucking sleep someone to just be that Conor again so bad.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. What do you make of the rape? I mean, it's a controversial question, but like the rape charges he had, it looks a little shady.
It's so hard to say, and like I it's like if it happened, I would feel like an asshole saying my opinion if it like it's like I don't even want to.
That's a good point.
It sucks. It's a shitty situation.
Money though, I think they're like in a 3-day coke binge together, and then she's trying to get money out of him. And
yeah.
But who knows exactly? Because Conor also can be completely out of control.
The thing that I thought was I'm not gonna say that word, but the thing that was interesting was when he said, "This is how I felt when Habib was choking me."
A fighter would never ever say that.
Hell no.
Every
Especially
fighter
when you're
says
fucking.
it. There's zero chance a fighter's going to talk about a loss in a cage. Zero chance.
The last thing I'm thinking about is like, this is how it felt when fucking Rob was holding me.
Yeah.
That's wild.
When Dan Henderson dropped me, this is how it felt. It's just no. That's exactly what I said. It's bullshit. A couple of fighters said the same thing. Because a fighter would never ever say that.
That one's wild, but it's weird too. Like in a situation like that, it's like if you get found not guilty but liable, and all you have to do is pay money to get out of it. It's like if that's a serious charge. Like that shouldn't be a money thing. Like that should be. But it's also in Ireland. It's a different part of the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's hard to comment on this stuff. I guess you're right. But did you see when there was a Jake Paul impersonator and the guy came up
choked
to Nate
him
and he choked him? That guy's suing him.
The Logan Paul impersonator.
What a pathetic. First off, you're pretending you're another man. Well, who's going to pretend you're another man? How pathetic are you? What if somebody's like, I'm pretending like I'm you? It's like,
It's just, I mean, you can't walk towards a gangster like
with
that.
With your hands up.
Like, don't walk towards him at all.
And Nate didn't hurt him. He just put him to sleep and then laid him down, you know? And he's like trying to say he's like hurt and stuff. What a freaking punk.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, you got to read the room. It's like, you know who Nate Diaz is. It's like, don't walk towards him at all. What are you trying to like?
That's what Nate said. He comes up with his hands up, so he's like, okay, this guy's gonna throw on me. So he grabbed him and he just choked him, didn't light him up. But
Nate and Islam's crew got a little into it a little bit yesterday at the throwing water bottles shit. Nate's such a fucking unintentional entertainer. Like, just it's so fucking crazy that we get to watch Nate.
Right.
Like, we're gonna look back on this time and be like, damn. I didn't watch much of Nick because it's a little bit older. I didn't really even get into the UFC.
Like,
like,
Nick was like the star first.
He was the.
I didn't. I watched Nick versus Anderson.
You should go back and watch Nick's old.
Oh, I have. I definitely have.
Okay, good.
Fight week or even fight day, we throw on Nick's.
100%. Yeah,
legendary, absolute legend.
We watched Nick versus Anderson the other day. Like, it's sad.
He was the big star before Nate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's.
I was pumped for him against Vincent Luque, and then all that stuff came out. It's like that's just fucking.
We're working on that, so that's something. Yeah,
my older brother.
About, but it's something we're working on. It's his brother to me, and something we're working on. It's I prefer not to.
Yeah, of course.
Not to discuss Nick's private life. So
it's hard with like that style that those guys got, like taking 5 shots to give one, and not even in the fights. It's like they probably spar like that too, and it's like
they do.
Joe Rogan talking about it.
Yeah.
Rogan talking about it on his podcast that he just dropped like 2 days ago or whatever. Like every time you get your bell rung, like that's a little concussion.
Yeah.
Bell rung, little concussion. It's like years and years of that 3 times a week. Like fuck.
Yeah,
they're still, they're still fine. Like, I hang out with Nate all the time. He's still fine. They're just tough. They don't, you don't hit them that much. You hit some, don't get me wrong, but they just come at you. It's go, like sparring them. It's like, oh shit, I got to spar like Nick 5 rounds a day. You got to be ready for that.
Dude, especially like the way Jorge came out with his pace. Like Jorge knew like I'm gonna crack him with my best shot and he's not gonna go down.
Yeah.
So he came out just with a slower pace, which was nice.
He
but
cracked Nate, but Nate just boom walked forward. I'm like,
would love for us to get some training with like Nate.
That'd be sick.
Sometime.
We totally get set that up.
That'd be so
Nate
cool.
was speaking how we were talking about yesterday. And he's like, oh, I like that guy. He's like originally I did.
Nate has this one little motherfucker on his crew that hates me. He's a 25er. He's a little guy. And he always is trying to fight me. He tried to fight me at the club.
I think I know who it is. I'll solve it. I don't think the guy's not around this week. If I see him again, I'll tell him don't fucking. Just
well, it's like
guy
what
that
is
always
he?
starts shit.
He boxed on the card. He got his ass kicked. I'm like, what are you, dude? You're fucking 5'3".
You know you're talking about.
You're 0-5. It's like, what do you? I don't even know you. Why are you trying to beef with me?
You went out tonight? We'll meet up. Nate's in town and shit.
I'm gonna be a Snoop Dogg. I'm gonna be a Zook.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll come through there.
Yeah, I do.
I think
Please.
That'd be sick. Snoop. I've never met.
That'd be sick. Snoop's cool.
I'm sure Nate might know.
Nate
knows everyone, all the rappers and shit.
Yeah, I'm sure. Nate's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
No, it's cool because I've trained with him since he was 16. So it's like a little brother to me. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, and now he's this fucking superstar. He can barely walk around.
Superstar. Oh, I'm sure.
It's like swarmed, like, you know, him, Chuck. Chuck still gets swarmed like that. It's nuts.
Was that one of the probably the coolest moments? I mean, it's got to be one of the coolest moments in history when Nate choked out Conor like that.
That was my favorite moment cornering, I think, particularly because he'd been talking shit to me, Conor, before on top of it, and Nate's like little brother, and that was just like he beat his ass. It was that was my favorite corner moment. I put a bunch of money on him, like
10 days short notice too, right? 11 or whatever it was.
I've had a lot of great corner moments, but that one really does kind of stand out. I was just so happy.
That was crazy, bro.
I was just the whole second round. I was kind of embarrassed to watch it. And I was just talking shit to Conor the whole time, not even giving good advice. I was like, "Oh, you're tired, Conor. You're a bitch. You're about to get fucked up."
He got in trouble for that against Marab. That's what, the first 10 seconds against Marab. Like he was just talking, talking, and like Marab fucking freaked out, had a little spasm.
And I wasn't really talking
Aren't
shit.
you allowed to do that? I talked shit to Conor for like almost a whole round.
Yeah, no.
He got in trouble.
You're not allowed to
you get a
do
point taken.
That can work sometimes.
What
too,
was it called? Overcoaching or
No.
advanced? They called it something.
John McCarthy said, none of the other refs could explain to me that it is. And not even talking shit, just saying, hey, Marab, be patient. Marab, be patient. And that's
Why
when
can't
he's
you
like,
coach Marab?
Aljo was yelling shit at me. Like,
I was talking
like,
shit
it's a
to Conor,
fight.
'cause I could see a little bit of doubt in his mind. That's when I wanted to get it more in his mind. You know, like, oh, I can see you're about to break. You're about to quit. You know, so you start putting that in his head. The shit can it can make sense.
Yeah.
Some guys it won't work against, but some guys it will.
And even if it does a little bit, it's like you're trying to help your guy win.
I am a little tired. And this guy's telling me I'm tired. They're seeing it too. You know.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, with a sniper like Suge, if I can get their mind off the fight just a little bit.
That Aljo fight, I mean.
Oh, that was beautiful. What did you drop him with?
Right hand. Yeah. It was southpaw through teep, step backs, orthodox, and fucking pink. Oh, that one felt so good.
Right. What a huge
in
win.
Boston. It was that moment was so electric. It's gonna be hard. Like there's beating Marab after losing to him is gonna be huge too. But that Boston one, even the Cheeto fight, like the Boston one is just fucking.
Cheeto fight was good.
That was sick. I love
Miami.
That was Miami.
Yeah, was that one live? I've been to so many I confused. I was trying to think. Was that one live? Yeah, I was.
Miami
that
was
one
sick.
That was good.
And then what's cool too is like even Umar versus Marab, the co-main event, like. My last 3 fights main evented as a bantamweight, which is not don't really
that common.
Yeah,
lightweight's the same, but
yeah,
you tore Cheeto up too.
Yeah, that felt good.
Like, wow, you're good. Because I was like, oh, this should be a pretty even fight, and you just like
good.
destroyed him.
That felt good, especially 3 years going like because the first fight how it played out, kicked my perennial nerve, foot went numb. Like he didn't even take me down. I fell backwards because my foot gave out. Like. And then just to have to deal with that for 3 years, that Cheeto fucked me up. Cheeto was like, I don't know how to check leg kicks, all this, and I knew I was better than that motherfucker.
That was probably one of your worst moments, right?
Yeah, but it was in my mind, and I was like, I'm undefeated. That fight, I didn't lose because my skills weren't better. That was a freak accident. It doesn't happen very often. So like my mind, I was undefeated, and like it was so nice to be able to go out there and prove what I was saying was right. I felt good.
And like I said, it wasn't close. It was
50-45.
Yeah, like you lit him up. I'm like, oh wow, this is a dominant. Like I said, I thought it was gonna be a close fight, and it was just domination.
Motherfuckers, he's like a Nate Diaz though. So when it comes to toughness, like bro, there's some guys.
That's why I thought it was gonna be a tough competitive fight, but it wasn't. You were just keeping it. He kept coming though. Like I said, you were lighting him up, but he kept coming.
Ding,
I mean, that opened a lot of people's eyes too. Going 5 rounds,
first time 5 rounds.
He's so explosive and fast, and he expends a lot of energy. And the fight with Peter was so high paced, so everyone's like 5 rounds. Cheeto's gonna break him down. So to piece his ass up in the 4th and 5th proved a lot of people wrong too.
No, Zach, he's good. Yeah. So I want to change subject real quick to like get you guys when you're getting into fighting. You're both from Montana, right?
Yep.
So I saw. I don't know if that's right. I said did you grow up in a reservation or?
My dad from the reservation, but about a couple hours away.
Okay, yeah, because the reservation can be kind of rough. A lot of people don't realize that. They think
fucking Great Falls where he's from, damn near a reservation, bro. It's damn near.
I grew up near one. People don't realize how rough it can get out there, right? It's like,
a lot of drugs, a lot of fucking just cold, a lot of alcohol, a lot of casinos,
alcohol,
meth.
meth.
Yeah,
people don't realize that they're not from those areas. It gets pretty rough. People just disappear out there. They bury the bodies. Like, you can't mess around those places.
Our towns though were like big fight towns, so we could fight damn near every weekend if we wanted to. Like I had a ton of amateur fights. He had a ton of amateur fights.
I'd fight 3 times in a month. Like I'd fight weekend. Like
what was the town in Montana you guys are from?
Helena.
And Great Falls for me.
They're an hour away.
I've only been to Whitefish. I want to go to Bozeman soon, visit Crone.
Yeah, Bozeman's beautiful. Fuck the snow though.
Yeah, Whitefish is beautiful. And it's all bougie and stuff. But I was there. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll buy a little summer house up here. And I look at the prices, like $1 million for like a small little like thing. I'm like, never mind.
And they're just going up.
I thought it'd be like 300,000-400,000. Maybe I'll buy one of these little like small, you know, apartments.
Yeah.
You know, for the extra place. I'm never mind. I'm not paying $1 million for this.
They're
Crazy.
they're fucking going up too. Everyone wants to move to Montana.
And $1 million is not like some fat house. It's like, I mean,
19.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Especially after the Yellowstone movie came out. And then during COVID and stuff, so many people moved to Montana thinking it's going to be this beautiful, peaceful thing, but it's freezing 80% of the time, fucking below zero, bro.
No, I don't like being that cold.
Nah, I mean,
Montana's a beautiful place.
Especially when you do jiu-jitsu, it's like you don't want to get there and have to warm up an extra 20 minutes just to warm up. Like, I don't like that. I don't mind when it's 120 in Arizona. I don't mind I don't mind that.
No, working out, like I said, warming up when it's cold is hard, especially if the gym's not heated and stuff. And
or if you've got a few surgeries and you like feel those ones hurting a little bit more, you're like, fuck.
Well, some of these gym owners are struggling, so they don't want to run the heat all the time, so they're like barely getting by, so they're like keeping it cold in the gym, and you're like, oh man, this is I don't warm up for this.
Yeah,
I'd have sweaters as you're warming up, and
yeah, that brings back memories. Just think about that when I was like 16, 17, 18, living in Montana training. Like, we'd just go to a shitty, just wherever we could put some mats down. It was fucking freezing and just spar. Like, that's all we just spar. I didn't have no technical hit mitts a little bit, spar.
How often do you spar now?
I spar in camp. Last camp, I really only sparred like once a week.
Wow.
But sometimes, the camp before that, we tried to spar Wednesdays, kickboxing, and then MMA. But it just depends on how my body feels. Like,
do you like technical type sparring too, or just like mitts for your extra? Or
I don't really like when I spar. It's like we'll spar in the cage, go not 100, like pretty much 100%. But we also know like we're not trying to knock each other out, but like.
But it's been pretty intense. I've been bringing in guys from different gyms, and they don't really talk before, and it's like a pretty intense setting.
That's why I like sparring sometimes.
I like that too.
You're friendly after, but like kind of coming in, you're not really talking to the guys. You're getting well, when it's fight time, not fight time when I'm playing around, but it's like I'll be buddies with you after we spar.
Yeah.
But you're over there, you're getting ready, you're not really talking to anyone.
I like that too.
At least the hard days you're sparring, like you do that every day. But
yeah, I got a full size octagon in my warehouse now too, which is gonna be really nice to. Because a lot of the cages at gyms are the apex size, they're small. So I got a full size one in my warehouse. We're gonna be able to spar in that now, which is gonna be really nice because it's a different game. It's like playing basketball at a full court versus half court. It's like a completely different sport. So it's gonna be able to really game plan and use that full size cage. I feel like it's gonna be a huge benefit.
Yeah, most of my career we were sparring like a ring instead of a cage.
Yeah.
So it's so different though having the walls, and we'd have to use like wrestling walls, which can work some, but having the real cage is changed a lot, and the real size.
Absolutely,
I remember when I would get in the, I'd never been in a cage that big and got in the UFC cage.
It's huge.
It's huge. You're
Twice
like,
as big as the small cage, or 44% bigger.
And I'm more of a grappler, so I want to cut guys off to the cage.
Yeah.
You want to learn to stay off the cage. So, but both of it, you want to learn how to use the size of the cage.
I think it's gonna be huge for our up and coming guys too that are really good grapplers that want to get people. It's like in the small cage, it's so much easier to get a striker because the cage. The big cage, it's different techniques. Tough. It's different. Footwork. So I think it's going to benefit a lot of the guys up and coming too.
I learned that